Hey team, welcome back to the channel, man. I'm stoked to see you. So, sitting out here at the old wood pile, trying to get a little PT on. I think I succeeded. I had a really good question came up just the other day and said, as a staff sergeant promotable or a sergeant promotable, what are some things I can do to help motivate some of my junior NCOs, some of my up and coming soldiers, so that I don't have to feed them fish anymore. I can teach them how to fish. Man, I thought it was just a fantastic question, and I wish and I hope that more of your peers and more of my peers are, because we're still learning, right, are asking the same question: what can I do to enable others for success, as opposed to driving it for them and making it for them? As we get going, man, if you have some questions that need some quality conversation, some dialogue, and just some back and forth, man, make sure you leave something down in the comments below. We can continue to master our craft at this, right? So I don't know that there's an easy answer, but I do think that this question has been around for a long time, right? I know even at my position, right, I struggle with the same thing. How can I give people the drive and to see that they can succeed, right? Because although the struggle changes at each echelon, the root friction points are still there. Right? For me, it might be things like awards and NCOERs. Man, I can jam out an NCOER for dang near anybody in the Army in like give me a legitimate 10 minutes and I can crank out some quantifiable bullets for dang near any NCO, regardless of rank, grade, or position. I can crank awards out and I don't get red ink back on my stuff when I write it, right? And so that's the easy button. The easy button is, hey, top man, get this thing cranked out. It's not necessarily the right answer. It's definitely not the right answer, right? But sometimes it is the easy button. And so the thing that I struggle with is, how can I empower other people? And so I think we go through phases in our leadership styles and how we do this thing called leadership. So I've gone through, let me put all of my nuggets on a piece of paper and give that to folks. Somehow that still doesn't do it. And why? I think it's the same thing that you're struggling with now, is because they're not learning to fish. Their net is being cast for them. And so they still don't get the principles and some of the things that we need to put together to make this work and to make it real and actionable. And so, the next phase is, Angry Hat comes on, and we're going to have an award writing or an NCO writing party, right? Order the pizzas. Man, we're staying here all night long until everybody's stuff is done. And that passes, and we find out that nobody really learned anything. Still struggle the same ways. And it's not until folks get some more sweat on back and they start to see that they can do it and that they can succeed and win. And I think the same thing may be true down, at a team chief and squad leader level, right? I know it is, because I had the same things. I think in principle, what we need to try to get to is understand that soldiers, as a general rule of thumb, right, and people, definitely for the most part, we have a problem with ego and pride. Now, we need to take these problems and turn them into something positive. So we establish wins and victories. You're never going to take a fellow out and have him deep sea fishing and he thinks he's going to come back with a trophy. You're never going to take somebody out hunting, just kick them off by themselves. never even fired a weapon, right? You're going to kick them off, and you're going to tell them, hey, man, go about half a day that way. And you'll get something. You'll come back with a trophy rack. I think sometimes that's how we approach things in leadership, but it's certainly not how we would actually handle things in real life. And the first thing we may do is teach some firearm safety. Get out on the range and get confidence behind the weapon. So that firearm safety, that creates a win, right? It's a baby win, but that win matters, and every win matters. Knowing how to safely handle a firearm is a win. Being able to group and zero your weapon is a win. Man, when you can get all your shots in that quarter, man, you're starting to feel pretty good. And that takes practice. It takes time. You can do so with iron sights, and then you start working optics. And then you start building confidence that not only can you do this at 25 meters, you can do this out to 500 yards, right? You can have confidence that you can hit what you're shooting at long range. You can account for the wind. You can account for slope and elevation. And we start teaching people how to traverse some backcountry, how to navigate, how to take care of your feet, how to pack a load, how to plan what you need to take out. How to read the weather, how to read the sign, knowing what to look for and how to track. We start putting all of these things together, and then we can take somebody out. And maybe let's start off with a small white-tailed or black-tailed deer. Let's get a win, right? All of these wins, they matter. They're super important. And once you have one win, you want another win. See, that goes back to our psyche, right? That goes back to our psyche, our drive of wanting to be affirmed, of wanting to succeed, of wanting to win. Roots back into our ego and our pride. These don't have to be bad things. Just like anger is not a inherently negative thing. So as a leader, we create opportunities for our subordinates to succeed and to win. Once they get the confidence that, hey, I matter, right? I can contribute to the team. I am an integral part of the success of my organization. I am the one that made everybody else cheer, clap, applaud, and look at our team a little bit different. Now they start to get some ownership and some buy-in. See, this is the harder way of leading. The easy way to lead is to sit back, crank out the awards, crank out the NCOERs, just kick everybody out and do it yourself. That's the easy way. The easy way is to get people to just submit to your angry words. To get a bunch of yes dudes out there, right? That's the easy way. The harder way is to create and to generate that buy-in. That folks want to be a part of the organization. That takes time. That takes, almost in a sense reprogramming a lot of the bad habits and bad stereotypes and bias that we have, either from our own upbringing, from our duty stations, our previous experiences, our expectations. But man, once that starts to happen, it's amazing. And just because you can break through a few doesn't mean you're going to break through everybody. And that's a lesson that I struggle with, because I don't like that. I wish everybody would just buy in. But truth be told, I've had quite a few folks who haven't. That's just something that we have to be prepared to deal with when it comes up. So I hope that gave you some food for thought. You know, regardless of where you're stationed at, regardless of what your job is, look back at all of the things that you do every single day. Look at the things that your soldiers and your leaders do every single day. Every NCO and soldier conducts PT. All of us. We all inspect property, right? Even if it's just the barracks and some housing. We all take care of housing needs. We all manage property. We all shoot our weapons and qualify on our individually assigned weapons. Hopefully every NCO has an additional duty. We all go through inspections. We all conduct, most of those of us who have vehicles, we conduct motor pool maintenance on Mondays, right? We operate our organizational equipment, whatever it may be. We send reports. We manage medical readiness. We manage legal processes and administrative actions, finance and pay inquiries. Start narrowing down and chopping up what it is that your team and your organization does on the daily, and find a win. Generate a win. Generate one of your leaders, one of your subordinate soldiers or not NCOs. Get them to find a win in a thing. Get another one to find a win in another one. You can empower, man. Give them. You can give them some doctrine, right? You can tell them where to go to find doctrine. You can give them a tax op. You can tell them where to go to find a tax op. You can put together a leader's book. Get them to put together a leader's book. Redo your counseling program in your packets. Going through, they may not see the value of each win. It's kind of like a ripple. Except when you throw in another ripple, it creates more ripples on top of that. It continues to expand and get larger, and the momentum will drive your whole team to someplace pretty stinking cool. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed the content of this one. Again, if you have your own questions, leave some comments down below. And I'll either, drop a note to you down and reply in the comments, or it's going to come at you like this. Let me know how else and what else I can do, whether it's through a question or just a comment, that I can do to make this channel a little bit better for all of us to continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Man, that's what this channel is all about. So I appreciate you guys watching. And if you think that somebody else is out there, one of your battle buddies, that this type of channel could be value added to their kit bag, then consider sharing it with them. We'll bring them in as well. Man, I appreciate all you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.